If a year ago somebody would have asked me about it, I would not be the person qualified to actually talk about it because I was struggling. And when I say struggling, I really mean it, because something that I could not wrap my mind around it was detachment, like the entire concept. And I figured that it's the same with a lot of you people. So let us dive into what actually detachment is and what are my opinions and basically perspective about it. Assalamu alaikum everybody. If you're new here, hi, my name's Sada and I help people get into their self-love, self-development journey through sharing my writings, my experiences and everything in between. So let's get started. So as I mentioned before, I was really struggling with detachment. Not only because I was unable to detach myself with the outcomes, but because I just could not understand that how you're supposed to work on the things that you love, work on the things that you actually want, and still not get attached to it. And I know that is the case with a lot of us, because working on your goal means that you have to be extremely focused on them. But then at the same time, you're also supposed to not get too attached to them. Like, what? Does that even make sense? But yeah, that is exactly what I thought it was. Until I would say, like, actually, more than half of the year passed, I finally understood what it actually is. If I have to explain it to anybody in brief, it is actually really simple. It is just tawakkul. Like, the law of detachment equals to tawakkul. That is what it is. Because it's very easy to say that we trust God, that you trust God, but then when the time actually comes, we start drowning ourselves in worry. For example, we see all these amazing quotes online, like, if this opportunity is for me, then it is gonna come to me. And if it does not come to me, it means it was never for me. While that is actually true, but when it's the time to actually implement it, we start drowning in worry. We start getting so anxious about the outcome and we start obsessing over why we could not get that one thing, why we could not stay with that one person, why did my friendship end, and so many other things. Detachment actually is that you put in all your efforts. Like, you do make efforts and you do work on your goals and you do everything, but then you leave the outcome to God. That is how it is supposed to work. But somehow I could not understand it. I thought that I believed in completely until I actually started believing it and implementing it in my life. But I'm not even ashamed to talk about it, because as a Muslim, we are always taught to have tawakkul. We are always taught to have trust in Allah Ta'ala so much. Even if our entire life falls apart, we still know that it is for the better. But again, this is easier said than done. When the time actually comes, we cannot stop thinking about why all this had to happen to us. You know what? It's not something to be ashamed about, as I said, because that's how you learn. I mean, if I was able to understand everything in one go, how would I be here talking about it and explaining it to you and sharing my perspective on it? Are some of my tips to actually detach. And I would not say that it is actually to completely detach. It's basically just to shift your mindset and make things a little bit easier for you. The first and the most important thing when you're actually trying to detach is you need to really, really, really trust God. And when I say this, I mean it. Like, you really need to trust Him. And you need to trust Him to a level that maybe you're making efforts to something, but you still do not get it. And you're still like, okay, then it was never for me. Like, if I made efforts to something, but I'm not getting it, that is probably because the efforts turned me into a better person, or like changed me into somebody that I was not before. And maybe I'm getting prepared for something that I asked, or something way better than I actually asked. So trusting God is really the first thing when it comes to detachment. As I mentioned earlier, law of detachment equals to tawakkul in my perspective. And I know you might be questioning that how do you not lose your mind by working on something but still not getting attached to your goal and knowing that maybe you're not supposed to get it. The thing is that you're supposed to know that you working on something means you changing and becoming better. And it's not just about achieving your goal, it's also about evolving as a person. Another thing is knowing that you not getting an opportunity really means that it was never meant for you. As soon as you actually wrap your mind around it, as soon as you actually accept this, everything becomes so much easier, because you missing something really means that it was never for you. Because if it was actually for you, you would never miss it. Like, now it seems really easy to me and it seems really logical to me, but before I could not understand how this is supposed to work. And now that I look back, I think it was basically my obsession over getting to a place or like achieving a goal. But you're not supposed to be so obsessed with your goals. You're supposed to be obsessed with the person who actually achieves the goals and actually makes efforts to do so. I'll give you an example. Somebody who's obsessed with their goal will be like, I'm supposed to get these things done, and then I'll do another thing that will lead to more things and stuff like that, right? But somebody who's actually obsessed with becoming a better person, yet achieving their goals, is like, if I do these things, I'm going to learn these skills, I'm going to take these steps, and I might become wiser, gain more knowledge, and maybe will also be able to help others. So that is the difference, you see. Obsessing over your goals means that you're so obsessed with the outcome that you cannot even think of the efforts that you're actually supposed to put in. But somebody is actually obsessed with becoming better as a person, knowing that, okay, if I don't even achieve them, it still means that I changed and I became better. Also, by no means this is to say that you're not supposed to get your goals, like you're not supposed to achieve them. This is not an excuse for you to become lazy. This is just to tell you that achieving your goal, as in like only the goal should not be your aim, it should also be to evolve as a person. Another very important thing about detachment is that you need to be so sure and you need to be so certain that you're gonna achieve everything that you want, that obsessing over the outcome does not even exist anymore. That really happens when you actually detach, because I have been both the phases where I was so obsessed with the outcome, and now that I'm not so obsessed with the outcome but actually the efforts that I put in. So it's like doing your things, doing the things that are in your control, making the efforts and taking better steps, getting knowledge, gaining education, gaining skills to do that particular thing, and then knowing that if it is actually supposed to happen, it is going to happen. And if it does not, something better is going to come anyway. Detachment really comes with the certainty. It's like knowing that, okay, if it is supposed to happen anyway, then why am I obsessing over it right now and not actually working on myself and working on the things that are really important in the present moment? Because the truth is that as long as you're obsessed with the outcome, you'll not be able to focus on the things that you're supposed to do right now in order to actually achieve that goal. Like, if you're so obsessed with the outcome, if you're so attached to your goals, you won't be able to work on yourself right now, because you're always thinking in the future. You're always living in the future. And you're not supposed to live in the future. You're only supposed to make efforts to have a better future. And when you're certain about something, life becomes really peaceful. Like, life becomes so easy and peaceful because you're not crashing out every 2 seconds about why you're not still where you want to be, or like why you're not able to achieve the things that you want. When you're making efforts, that's when you know that you're doing your part, and now everything else is in God's hand. Like, that's not your matter, so you're not supposed to worry about it. And yeah, that's what certainty does to you. It makes you so calm and peaceful. It makes you so, I would say, confident as well. Then you know that, okay, I'm doing my part, and rest of it will happen eventually. Or if it does not, something better will happen anyway. So it's really the certainty that makes you detach. It's really the certainty that makes you confident, that basically reassures you that, yeah, things will come your way, but you're also supposed to be the person who's supposed to get those things. And when you finally detach, the constant worrying, the anxiety that comes with every decision, anxiety that comes when things do not go your way, literally goes away. Everything becomes really peaceful. You're able to live in the present moment. You're able to enjoy what you have right now, other than mourning what you thought you're supposed to actually get. So that is it for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something from it. If there's any other thing you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. Till then, stay safe.